Hello, sports fans. Great to be back with you. Let's start in the NBA with the Boston Celtics win at home last night in Game 7 over the Washington Wizards. Boston advances to the Eastern Conference Finals where they will take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs, of course, have not lost a playoff game yet. Nice job by Boston. Great job by them this year. Brad Stevens has done a tremendous job with this team. Isaiah Thomas playing on an incredibly high level this year. How about Kelly O, as I like to call him last night? He had a game for the ages. So give the Celtics all sorts of credit for the year they've had. I don't want to nitpick on this series. Listen, I know it went 7, but let's be honest. 5 of the 7 games were blowouts. Last night was a 10-point game. There was only one real nail-biter, and that was Game 6 where Wall hit the big shot at the end. Most of the games were one-sided and blowouts. I don't want to nitpick about it. I know a lot of people were saying how great this series was. I know it went 7, but a lot of the games were blowouts. Give Boston, though, all sorts of credit for getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. I have to favor Cleveland just because they have a man by the name of LeBron James on their team. But Boston will win their games. I think that will be an exciting series. Over to the Western Conference we go. Golden State in the Western Conference Finals holds a 1-0 lead over San Antonio. San Antonio had a 25-point lead in Game 1 and lost the game, and they lose Leonard. He's not going to play in Game 2. If San Antonio doesn't have Leonard, they have no shot whatsoever. I mean, this might have been San Antonio's chance to do any damage in this series. You have a 25-point lead. You got to find a way to get it done. Now Parker's out for the playoffs. Leonard is going to miss Game 2. San Antonio's in all kinds of trouble. I respect them. I never count them out, but this is asking a lot. As far as the play with Leonard getting hurt, I didn't think Pachulia intended to hurt Leonard there. I know a lot of people said he did. A lot of people say he's a dirty player. He has a history. I didn't find that to be the case there. It's very hard to determine what's in someone's head, though. I didn't think it was a dirty play. I mean, I know he has a history of doing some things, but I didn't think that was a dirty play. Leonard, of course, has been banged up the whole playoffs to begin with. And even if you suspend the Golden State players, it really going to matter. It's not like you're taking Durant or Curry off the team. And the bottom line is this. If Leonard can't play, the Spurs have no shot. I expect Golden State to get through. I expect Cleveland to get through. And I think for the third year in a row, we're going to have Golden State and Cleveland. Like I told you many times in the past, don't expect a lot of upsets in the NBA. You've had no upsets so far this year. The higher seed has won every single round. I don't count Utah beating the Clippers in the 4-5 matchup as an upset because Blake Griffin didn't play. So throw that out. Every other top seed has won. I mean, you just don't get a lot of upsets in the NBA. And by the way, going back to last week, how bad was Houston in Game 6, an elimination game at home against San Antonio? Spurs didn't have Leonard and beat Houston by 40. That was a terrible job by the Rockets. Where was Harden that game? He was lost. That was an awful performance by the Rockets. So that's where you are in the NBA. Of course, Golden State, San Antonio, Game 2 tonight. Over to the NHL we go. We got 2 1-1 series in the Eastern Conference. Pittsburgh and Ottawa 1-1. Back to Ottawa we go. Pittsburgh won a 1-0 game last night. I'll tell you, Pittsburgh's been playing Ottawa's game so far. Ottawa has to be happy with the style of play so far. First game was 2-1. Second game was 1-0. Ottawa's playing in that kind of style that they like. Ottawa is not interested in style points. They play like a 1-3-1. They play that neutral, they have 3 guys clogging up the middle of the ice. They kind of remind me of the old Devils that played that neutral zone trap. Ottawa plays that type of style. They're not going to win you style points, but they're very, very effective. They're giving the Penguins all sorts of trouble. I think this will be a good, long series. As far as the Western Conference, we got some drama there now, too. Anaheim 1-1 with Nashville. Back to Nashville we go. Nashville's been really good the whole playoffs. Swept away Chicago. Beat St. Louis. They have home ice here now. Anaheim, they've been the comeback kids. They've been down in multiple games in the playoffs, come back to win. They lose Game 1 of this series. They're down in Game 2, but they rallied to win. So this also should be a good, long series. So you got some good stuff in the NHL. Real quick in the baseball, let's touch real quick on what's going on in the baseball. AL East, Yankees 22-13. They are playing really, really well. The kids are doing a great job. The Yankees did lose 3 or 4 to Houston, but overall, Yankees are doing a great job this year. Baltimore 22-14. They have lost 4 in a row, but again, I think they've done a good job so far. Boston 19-18. They seem to miss Ortiz, and that's understandable. You take Ortiz off this team. I mean, he was such a big part of their team. Boston kind of floundering around 500 right now. Tampa Bay 19-22. You don't expect a lot from them. And Toronto 17-22, playing a little better, but they dug themselves such a big hole. Toronto's got a long way to go. As far as the Central, Minnesota, a nice story. 19-15, 11-5 on the road. So nice job by the Twins. Cleveland 20-17. I expect Cleveland to be one of the contenders this year. Detroit 18-18, Chicago 17-19, Kansas City in last place. They have won 4 in a row. As far as the West, Houston looks like one of the best teams in baseball. Like I said, they took 3 or 4 from the Yankees. They're 27-12. They look like they are a solid contender to get to the World Series. The rest of the division under 500, Angels, Texas, Seattle, and Oakland all under 500. Texas playing a little better. They have won 6 in a row. Hamels is out, but Texas is starting to make a little bit of a move. That is your American League. As far as the National League East, what a dreadful division this is. Washington's doing a nice job at 24-13. The rest of this division is awful. The Mets are 16-21, lost 5 in a row, and they have everybody out of their lineup. The Mets have so many injuries. Pitchers, Cespedes, everyone's out for the Mets. The Mets have all sorts of injuries. If the Mets would ever get healthy, they'd be a contender, but they have so many people out right now. Philly, Atlanta, and Miami all look like bad teams, and Miami, listen, I know they lost Fernandez tragically last year. I thought Miami would be a little better than this. They had the worst May of any team in baseball. I thought Miami would be a little more competitive. They've been dreadful so far. So has Philly and Atlanta. That division is awful. As far as the Central, St. Louis 21-15 in first place. St. Louis is one of those teams that you just never count out. I didn't expect a lot from St. Louis, but they have such a history of doing things that you never count them out. There they are in first place. Milwaukee 21-18, swept the Mets over the weekend. Milwaukee's doing a decent job. Cincinnati 19-18, staying above water. Cubs very disappointing, 18-19. They have a World Series hangover. I expect them to turn it around. And Pittsburgh in last place. As far as the West, Colorado, really nice job, 24-15. Despite Story not having a good year, Story, who was a great story last year with all those home runs. This year he's been really struggling. He's batting 180. I think he's on the DL now. Colorado's still doing a nice job. Arenado is a fabulous player. If you haven't watched him play, check him out. Dodgers 22-17. I feel like it's the same old Dodgers. They're probably good enough to get to the playoffs, probably not good enough to win the World Series. Arizona 22-18. They are playing better. Remember, they were a disaster last year. They are a little better this year. They're 16-8 at home, only 6-10 on the road, and they have a lot of road games to make up. If they're going to be a serious contender, you got to win on the road. San Francisco 16-24. They have won 4 in a row, and they're still 8 games under 500. They've been a disaster this year. Bumgarner, of course, with that ridiculous injury. He's going to be out for a while. Kane's been out for a while. San Francisco is a team you never count out, but they have dug themselves a big hole, are playing a little better. And San Diego in last place, we don't expect a lot from them. So there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. You got your NBA tonight, Golden State, San Antonio. You got your NHL, Anaheim, Nashville. Of course, you got Pittsburgh, Ottawa coming up this week, along with the Celtics and the Cavaliers. You always have your Major League Baseball, and you got the big Preakness Stakes as well this week. So you guys have a lot to watch. You guys, thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care.